Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. What do we got going on here today? We got a quick draft. The reason why I wanted to do one more was because we just have enough time to do it. We have plenty of gold, so it kind of feels like a free thing to do. And if we check out our profile, it looks like um, we've got a few more cards to collect in here. I did the math on it, and it was like a 6% chance of picking out a specific card that was not in there, but the packs should be better. So we'll look at our rares that come our way and take them accordingly. But we'll still try to find a decent deck because ideally the goal is to get those 2 wins in order to get all the way out of gold inside the limited rank for this month. It'll be the first month that I've ever finished limited outside of gold. And that's where the pack, but it's not the pack, there's 6 packs sitting up here, right? I think to me, it's more about um, is it worth, is it fun? Does it, you know, give us one more chance? Last time we did a draft, we got 4 wins, and before we took our third loss, and it was really like right there on the edge. We were like, if we got that last win, we would have gone up and got out of gold, and if we took the loss, we needed like now 2 more wins to do it. So that's what we're getting done here. We'll do some quick draft. And what else is there to be said? We've got the gold. Let's go for it. Oh, so we picked up a Mind Splice apparatus. One of the 6% chance of getting the kind of rare that we were looking for. This is our pick one, pack one. So what we want to do is pay a little bit of attention to what we've got on the wheel because these are going to be the cards that we're going to get a second chance at. We can kind of take a look and see what's missing. Here's what I see so far. Minor Misstep, Escaped Experiment, Quicksilver Fisher, and Surgical Bay have. I think those are all competing for the bottom 5 cards. like they are all some of the worst cards in the deck. On the white side of things, we've got the Bladed Ambassador, which is excellent. The Basilica Shepherd, which is a solid way to finish out a game, and the Flensing Raptor, which is a really cool mid-game Toxic Enabler in the white Toxic deck. So the white Toxic deck looks solid. The Mirror Convert has been a superstar, and the Volt Charge in the Bladegraft Aspirant both hold a lot of value. The Volt Charge holds value in just about any deck, but specifically the oil decks because of the Proliferate. You get that extra mana that you have to spend to throw it, but the Proliferate function just really takes things off. In our deck, we are definitely taking our Mind Splice apparatus because, you know, that's what we're here to do. We're here to rare, and rare is what we want. So I am happily taking that with the idea that this is the first time that we're building our deck. Um, Hard to say no to either of these colorless cards. I do think that the oil deck is got more power to it than some of the other ones that are out there. So red, green, oil, things like the Cinder Slash Ravager, really, really solid. The Mirror Convert is the most open opportunity for us because of the fact that it's a mana dork that just costs you the 2 life to do. It hits the deck. It's got toxic. It's colorless. It's got kind of everything that you're looking for as far as a supplement to whatever deck that you're looking to get towards. But we're not ramping towards anything. We're probably not playing the Mind Splice apparatus. It's kind of an insane thing and limited to try to even hold on to. I think we just put it over here because there's just no chance. But I think if we take Atraxis Skitterfang, we'll be happy. I don't think we're ever sad about this card. One thing that I have noticed, though, it's a 3-mana card, and it works well when you're working with things higher than it. When you're talking about working with things that are lower than it really struggles. Maybe the Death Touch can be something that's useful with like an Exuberant Fusling. But for the most part, I would rather send a Furnace Strider flying than send an Exuberant Fusling flying, right? Or one of these. Coming back to looking at the wheel opportunities, gold or white really fell off the deck. There's almost nothing in the white toxic deck for us to take. The Furnace Strider fits our Atraxa pick really, really nice. So you've got 3 Boros equipments here. 1, Bring the Ending if you're into counter magic, if you're looking to control, especially if you can do corruption. That turns out to be pretty solid. Not so good. Mm, Fan favorite. We'll just call it that. But nothing to think about. Atraxis Skitterfang is the clear pick for us here. I think we needed a direction. Not the only direction, but I think it's like one of the best packs in the card, or cards in the pack. So black takes us down a road that I don't think I want to go down, and that is Pestilent Siphoner being the best card in black that will enable Toxic. I also think that the Scheming Aspirant can be trickily good with the Thrumming Bird. And the Thrumming Bird also really helps out the oil side of things. So I can think of things like the Glisten Seers, the Experimental Auguries, right here. These are all solid cards to play in quite a few different decks. So I think the Augury probably holds a little bit more in it as far as opportunity is concerned. Um, I know people like the Atmospheric Surgeon, but I do not, unfortunately. The thing about Thrumming Birds are they're kind of a throwaway card in a sense. Like, the proliferation sounds amazing, but everybody knows that proliferation can be really, really good. And unfortunately, if you've got any of those cards, this thing's going to get killed immediately. And it costs you about the same amount of mana as a removal spell costs. This thing, on the other hand, replaces itself with a card, like guarantees the proliferation to happen. It's the same amount of mana cost, and I think it fits more decks than um, than the Thrumming Bird does. I think we avoid the Thrumming Bird. I think that personally it's not one of my favorites. We could take the Aspirant and then look to wheel some of these other proliferate cards and try to stay in the Dimir toxic control environment. That's what we did last time, and it wasn't bad. Um, we'll need a lot of removal, though, to make that happen, and that is not a guarantee. Having a Scheming Aspirant, though, might I think that we take the Augury. Oh man, this is tricky. I kind of dig this card. I just don't want to go in black, but I don't want to go in blue either. We know the blue that's coming our way on the first two packs was so bad. If we could pick up a Pestilent Siphoner with an Experimental Augury, I feel really good about this combo of cards. Do I feel good about this combo of cards? Like, not really. I do feel great about that combo of cards. Um, and this combo of cards. Let's see if the Aspirant wheels. I think that's the right answer. I think we take the Augury as probably one of the more better cards. Eh, is there a green-black proliferate? Because we have this Ruthless Perdition here too. You know what? We have this Skitterfang. We're going to take the Ruthless Perdition. I have way too many times really, really wanted to have a removal spell. And with the +1/+2, a sorcery, piece that gets involved, the ability to put Death Touch on something that's tiny, I think that we take the removal spell and consider green. Oh man, look at you, Ichor Plates. Look at you, look at you. Okay, so we're getting a lot of support cards. We got a lot of Mirror Converts. I think that one of these three is coming back around, like for sure. Both of these are no bueno, and this would only work in the white toxic deck. Like, it's kind of very. It's important that you have plenty of creatures. Like if you have Skrelv's Hives and things that you can kick and just get rid of, like, can sometimes help. Um, I think there's no question that we're taking the Ichor Plate Golem because of the Skitterfang. These two are just a really, really nice combo. And we still have green kind of pulling us in a direction, but we're super, super open. We have some really bad cards so far that, I mean, I can't say they're all bad. It's just there's only been like one or two playable cards in every pack. Thrill of Possibility, Molten Rebuke, none of those are good. Let's go. Let's go with the Golem and stay oily and open. All right. Hard to not take the pig. Really solid card. Proliferates, gets you the mana that you're looking for, puts you on the right ramp strategy. Icar Synthesizer will swing back around. I think we get another shot at one of these. This is an excellent card, but only if you're building around it, right? Like only if you're like, hey, I'm gonna keep the mana, we're gonna slow things down. Like there's a ton of reasons why this is no good. And then we have a card that we don't have copies of. And that is a pretty good card over here too. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. And I think that's why this card has not been one of my criteria. It's only good on turn 3. It's a 3/3 for 3, but that with menace. Okay, okay. If you play it on time, it's pretty solid, but I would rather take a Vorak. I just These are great cards, but they don't really fit in the oil side of things. So it's blue, red to flash down, Basilisk to play a toxic delay kind of strategy, or the Vorak. And the Vorak wins, I think. The Vorak just keeps us feeling pretty good. It has the proliferation piece, so it fits in a lot of other decks too. And I told you we'd have more Icar synthesizers out there if we wanted them. I think it's time for a Furnace Strider, a staple in the oil deck. Clearly, this is the right place to do it. Awaken the Sleeper is a steal card. If you have some good ways to sacrifice this creature, it's worth playing. So yeah, it's kind of like a play 4 and then make sure you've got 2 left to kill it. Oh, I think I'm taking the Strider. Carnivorous Canopy is no bueno. I know it proliferates if you kill something little, but Icar Synthesizer could be our second color, but I can avoid blue and just stay in the red-green. I feel way stronger about how my deck comes together. Okay, we have another removal spell. It's kind of, you're really stuck in blue if you take it. We have a Free from Flesh, which is a really nice battle trick that works really well in the red oil decks. So I do think that this is for us. I also think this is for us. I don't think the copper long legs, yeah, there's a proliferation, but there's not a lot of flyers in that make a lot of sense. I mean, there are some little itty bitty guys, but yeah, I think we're just taking the Free from Flesh. Yep, Free from Flesh it is. Can be a pretty useful card. And we got another very, very strange rare. Oh, the encroaching microsynth basically turns all cards, non-land permanents you control, are artifacts. The same is true for permanent spells you control and other ones. So you can kind of like open up the colors for the artifact deck. Instead of it always having to be blue-white, you could have an encroaching microsynth, turn it into blue-black, and try to have some of those artifact cards work with some black beatdown cards that aren't super popular in the format. Um, I think we are rare drafting. This is one of the reasons we're here. We took the Mind Splice apparatus. I think we're doing fine on the playables so far. If I'm passing out on a scamp, like a Sawblade scamp, which I don't think does a lot, or a Free from Flesh, which I'm not like overboard excited about getting. This is our opening pack, and remember I told you about these blue cards being horrible? They're still horrible. um, we're avoiding blue, we're looking at red, and we're looking at green. This has a proliferate experience to it, so in a pinch, I think that this fits more in what we're looking for. We're not going to call it playable, since it's a 2/2 for 3 mana, and that proliferates that extra pip, but we'll take it just because we need something. And we get rewarded with a much better pack up here. I think our top end is going to be the Furnace Strider, and getting a Furnace Strider on the deck twice is much, much more, at turn 5, it's much better than doing something at turn 6 that doesn't have the same kind of synergies across the board. We have all the other cards as far as it, so we're not drafting for any kind of fill in the blank kind of piece. And there's another experimental augury. This is the one that we didn't take in that pack. We were hemming and hawing. I think it's funny that it's the one that wheeled compared to all the others that are out there. The closest that I can think of would be this Cackler. Whenever it attacks, it gets plus X plus O, where X is the number of permanents you control with oil counters on them. I think we've got, one, two, three, four so already. So I do think that we play a Cackler with the idea that it might be our 23rd breast card, but or at least it's something. None of these look playable in our deck, so we'll take the thrill of possibility in the pinch. Hazardous Blast is a little different story. I think that Hazardous Blast could turn out to be something that we utilize. And so coming out of the whole pack one, we ended up with one rare, two rares, and 9 playables. And there's a lot of nice synergy involved with this here. I mean, the Hazardous Blast being the card that has the least amount of synergy in our deck, but proliferates or oils, we really need to get lower in our curve. So we really need to start prioritizing um, low level, 1 mana cards or 2 mana cards. We're gonna take the risk that the Rustvine Cultivator doesn't stick around, or the Dune Mover. Either one of these would be great wheels, and this is ideal. We would take the Copper Longlegs on, pack 2, pick 9, if we had to. Um, Things we're leaving behind are, again, excellent white toxic cards. Black toxic card. It looks like the Orzhov toxic strategy was the one that we should have been in if we were looking to do the best. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to play it because I'm just not going to get dragged to black, but we needed one. It's our third rare that we needed. That's just insane. This is another rare that we have. Churning Reservoir works really, really good in the oil deck, but the Axiom Engraver is better. And the reason why this is better is because this thing hits the deck and does nothing, and then later you can turn out 1/1s that essentially chump block. That's your biggest hope for those. Terramorphic Expanse is another one of these, like, it's good enough kind of deal. But this thing is way underrated because you are going to get a chance to clean through your draws when you're not using it as a blocker, and otherwise it's going to sit there and hold back everything that they've got from like level, as far as like 2 is concerned and above. It trades with 3/1 blades. It just does so many good things. This is a snap grab. We don't think twice about it. We're taking a Cinder Slash Ravager. The reason why this is such a good card is the 1 mana or the 1 damage across the board is going to really enable a lot of these things to just go bye-bye. So we don't have to worry about those flyers nearly as much, and we're in a much, much better position to cast this on turn 3 or turn 4 if we happen to already be in the oil deck. And last I checked, that's exactly where we're at. So I'm just going to stick it there. It's kind of a good middle ground. My. Hello, my friend. Another oily oiler who helps ramp, who's a great blocker, who takes things out of graveyards, who just does way too many good things. If we were in the Simic Toxic deck, this is a must-have. I think I had 2 copies of it, and I feel like it takes all those mites, and just that extra +1 on those mites is enough to make them way, way, way more dangerous. Black's Stinging Hive Master is not exciting. We do have a little bit of a battle trick over here. I would almost take the Slaughter Singer, even though nothing is toxic right now. But the name of the game was grab 1 and 2 drops and get some presence on the board in the early side of things. And so far, I feel really, really good about what we've done. No choice here either. Vat of Rebirth does have oil, but it's not in our colors. This is the toxic removal. It's kind of clunky. Because you have to have a certain amount of cards, like a certain amount of creatures in the deck before you can really remove anything of like 3 toughness, right? So like you want to remove this with Charge of the Mites, you have to have 3 creatures on the board and then spend 3 mana to get rid of it. So it's not that good. But Ruthless Perdition is a sorcery speed, excellent fight spell because of the +1/+2. Which is so many ways for us to use that as a clean removal spell and just get them out of here. Oh, look at that. We could have had our second Scheming Aspirant, but it's almost impossible to turn down a Kinkerbloom. Oil Gorger Troll is one really close step to doing it. If I didn't have these 3 cards right here, that were up at the top of the deck, and think, if I was thinking like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to survive, but oh my God, when a Kinkerbloom comes down, it's so scary, and then you use it as a blocker, but before it sacrifices, you pop it, and then when you pop it, you proliferate everything, and by proliferating everything, you can absolutely give a ton more power to a lot of these other creatures that are out there. So I do think that we take the Cankerbloom as another snap one in hopes that the oil field control gets maybe returned to sender when we get it come back. So Hazardous Blast number 2 is not worth it for us. We did avoid the whole black and blue Dimir toxic strategy. That's what all three of these are great at. So we snapped these up on the last draft. You almost never want this guy. Like, he's just not a good guy. And I'm okay with playing like one Hazardous Blast, but am I okay playing two? Not really. Um, Titanic Growth is an interesting spell. The +4/+4 works really, really nice on things that have trample or things that have flying. Looking at you, Mr. Skitterfang. Um, the other way to do it would be to look at the Maze Skull Bomb, which is essentially a 3-mana spell that gives +3/+3 and trample to something. And it's not fast enough. I know people love this thing because it replaces itself with another card, and that does hold a lot of value. And we do have some beefy bodies over here, so gaining trample on something like this might make us a little bit more robust than a Titanic Growth. I feel like I could go either way, but I feel like that a 2-mana artifact trigger replace itself isn't that exciting. So this is a 4-mana card that essentially accomplishes about the same much as this 2-mana card does. We're not going to get anything out of artifacts. This thing isn't going to give us anything specific like, oh my gosh, look at this. It gives us flying or gives us a keyword. Like, the keyword here is trample, and that's only for picking the last little pieces of damage out of there. We've got other ways of doing that. I'm going to go with Titanic Growth. We're going to focus on some removal on this one. Well, look at that. There's another spell bomb. Never mind. Batterfist is really good as a 2-drop, just because of that damage. And then once it's gone, you can just, for 1 mana, re-equip. I like this one, but it's 3 mana. It hands out that first strike, and it hands out that trample. Probably want to take the Hexgold Halberd, because it's going to hit the deck just as fast, but it's going to be a lot more robust as a defender. And as it stands right now, this is a 3-mana spell that gifts first strike and trample. This is a 3-mana spell after it's on the deck that gifts +3/+3 and trample. I think the first strike actually pays off more often than you think. I'll take the Hexgold. I think Batterfist is not as good as people think. We got our Rustvine Cultivator. It's another body to make the Cackler just a little bit stronger. We're not in any mana problems here. I don't think we're ever going to end up with a Toon Mover. Copper Longlegs is sort of like, a body of last resort kind of thing. The Cultivator provides a lot. Provides some ramp, provides a good blocker against toxic creatures like little mites and stuff like that. Just kind of sits there. A lot of times it's just not threatening enough to be, warrant a removal spell. And so, it's an extra body for the Cackler. It's an extra body to make the Cinder/Ravager cheaper. It's just got a lot of good things going for it. And the more you play with it, the more you realize the power of having a 1-drop. Like, oof, so good. Molten Rebuke is a 5-mana, deals 5 damage to a target creature, or you can destroy a target piece of equipment. I just don't love 5 mana to just get rid of one thing. But 5 mana to get rid of a 5-mana creature isn't bad either. What's this give us? It's a 6-mana bomb. It can't be blocked by creatures with flying. Okay. I have noticed that the format has been moving more towards like the bigger body guys. And because everybody, leans into something like this, having a monster on the deck can be the right kind of stabilization. Many players built their careers on the backs of big, dumb creatures, and I count myself among them, and would have been perfectly happy with a 6/5 vanilla for this price. Instead, we get to add Reach and Trample, which are both very good abilities. I do think that Trample makes the grade here. We'll take it. We may not keep it, but we take it. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. I don't think we see a playable card here. If that's the case, we'll take the 2 mana fixing on the off chance that we end up splashing a crazy rare or something like that in the future. We're still only looking for like 5 playables as it stands right now, maybe 6. So, we're not up against anything. We can take a Hunter's Maze as just an opportunity. And oh, we got a second Titanic Growth. I'm okay with that. And our first Duress. Oh man, have I wanted one of you for a long, long time. This is just a good pack all over the place, I think. Nimrazer Paladin's good. Cacophony Scamp's good enough. I don't think it's actually as good as people make it out, but it's not a bad 1-drop to kind of boost up everything else that's on the board. The key to this is to pump it and then kill it, because then it becomes a fireball, right? So when it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, you proliferate, and when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target, right? So you pump it, you shoot it, you decide to kill it, and then you take that pump before it goes away and throw it onto killing, I don't know, a 4-mana creature or whatever the case is. Like, you end up killing something pretty big. No doubt about it, though. We've been desperate for our third Skrul's Hive for a really, really long time. So this is the third pack in a row where we've taken a rare that just doesn't fit our deck. That doesn't mean that we're dead in the water, but it does mean that our deck is going to suffer a little because we like those choices a lot more than we like these choices. Although this is pretty solid. +3/+1 instant spell that allows you to look at the next card, and on the turn following, you can still play it. Pretty solid stuff. Do I really want an infested Flesh Crusher? Like, no chance whatsoever. I think Gleeful Demolition's another one of those, like, could be really kind of cool. Take one of these pieces of artifacts and blow them up and turn them into 3 guys. Take one of these Skull Bombs and do the same kind of thing. 2 mana lets you put 2 oil counters on a target artifact or creature. That could become in handy for, like, the Skitterfang. But I don't think we need it on any of these other guys. We have lots of oily guys, but none of them are, like, desperate for it. So I think we take the trick. The trick that turns into a card draw, right? Like, yeah, definitely. Dune Mover is for fixing, and the only thing we'd be fixing and really wanting is the Skrelv over here, and the Skrelv is not really, it doesn't synergize with our deck. We're not gifting Toxic as a big deal. It doesn't gift any damage, so it's just gifting the Toxic piece. But we are definitely getting the tricks of the trade. Oh, this is a tough choice. I have many, many times wished that I had a Tyvar stand in hand, and I can't say the same about an Attractive Skitterfang. But, we've done a pretty good job. What's our creature count right now? 12? Yeah, let's take the Skitterfang. I have a tendency to lean too far away, and we ended up with 2 of these, 2 of these, and 1 of these. So we're pretty good on our removal slash, battle trick kind of stuff. Having 5 cards in the 2 mana slot's pretty good. I would love to have turned one of these Titanic Growths into a Tyvar stand. Maybe it wheels. It's just too hard. It's too hard to pass up a Skitterfang. There's just way too many good things that we get a chance to do with that. Seems like these cards only show up next to each other, doesn't it? Name of the game is Trample here. We got a Trampler. We gift out Trampling. We were convinced that maybe Trample was a keyword that was worth 4 mana before. I think if that was the case, it's got to be worth 3 mana, right? And that's something to consider too, right? This isn't 13 anymore because we have 2 pieces of equipment that are also creatures. So at its bare minimum, we need 1 more playable. And the Axiom Engraver is going to make the cut. This is an affinity for equipment. It has trample. It does fit a lot of the things that we're looking to do. But the equipment is the only way it's going to make itself affordable. And if we can't get there, it doesn't matter how good it is. The Watchful Blister Zoa enters the battlefield with an oil counter on it. When it dies, you draw cards equal to the number of oil counters. So you're looking to proliferate like crazy with this guy. But I think I'm much more likely to play the Axiom Engraver and cut a battle trick than I am adding another battle trick. I guess we're taking Skull Ball. And just to point this out, like, at this point, yeah, we have 1 red card and it's excellent, so we're taking it. It's a 4 mana, 3/3 with haste that leaves behind a 1/1 on the way back. It does a lot of great things. It's one of the few cards that I would say fits into our deck, even though it doesn't have oil on it. I think we're doing fine on the synergy pieces across the board, so I think we're taking it right now. And we talked about this card being available. We already have a copy of it, and we're not happy about that. So I guess we take the Batterfist in thought that if we want to make some changes to it, this is a better removal spell than what we've got. Dune Mover is just another body. I don't think that's going to work out. And there it is, the Infested Flesh Cutter. I think we'd take it. We don't need any more playables at this point, and it is a card that we don't own. The Minor Missteps, or the Axiom Engraver. We'll take our 3rd Axiom Engraver and our 2nd Free from Flesh. And we might as well take the big body. And the battle trick. Alright. So we're going to have some cuts to make here. Mostly because we did so well at the end. A couple things to point out. 1 rare, 2 rares, 3 rares, 4. 4 rares and a missing uncommon make 5 cards worth getting so far. Gotta love it. We own copies of all of this stuff because it's good, and so why wouldn't we? I think we're probably in the even Steven zone for a second, and so we need 6 cuts. We do have 1, 2, 3 different pieces of equipment and a big guy that likes pieces of equipment, right? That's 4 different cards. And what do we end up over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies down here. I would rather have these halberds than these titanic growths. And the reason being is they create a little bit more offense later in the game, right? If we are going to hold on to these big bodied dudes and we are going to try to come in with these as like the finishers that we're hoping to get to, what we really should pay attention to is, can we give them something that gets them past the chump blockers, right? And, Axiom Engravers are pretty good, and I have no problems using them to stop a 6-mana fight one time, but it's not going to do much good to stop that 6-mana fight if they've got some kind of trample trick to put on it. 2.8 average with everything in the deck, 16 lands currently set up right here. I'm not so sure that we're going to want a Hazardous Blast. I think that the deck starts to look pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more cut. I don't want to cut that. I'd rather cut that. So I only cut one creature out of the deck, and then the rest of the cuts had to do with minor kinds of things. So it says 16 creatures along with 2 over here, so 17, 18 total things that affect the board. That is exactly the kind of deck I like to build. I want proliferate, but I don't want to just spend a card to proliferate. I want to affect the board. I want to keep going wide. Free from Fleshes versus Hazardous Blast or Titanic Growth. Why would we want more oil counters on anything other than an Atraxis Skitterfang? I kind of think those guys got to go, and I think these guys come back in. How good would it be to have a Hazardous Blast and a Bannerfist over 2 Free from Fleshes? Or 2 Titanic Growths. We have this like minor trample theme going on in this. We got trample right here. We got something that gifts trample twice. We've got this that gives flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink, so a little different. Definitely good for stabilization though. This is tricky. I think I do 1 and 1. Currently our curve is at 2.8 with 16 lands. That's a little high because of the fact that this will come down a little, but let's just call it 2.6 or 7. We do have a little bit of ramping built in where we can get free mana out of our Armored Scrap Gorger and our Rustvine Cultivator as well. So I have no problems running the 16 lands with this kind of deck. But I do think that we might want to consider that the Hazardous Blast might push, like might be sitting in our hand for a really long time without a really good use because, you know, these guys aren't going to do a lot of damage when they come in the door. Not without a lot of additional help. 2/2s, 0/3s, 3/2. Cackler is not bad, but giving it trample would probably be the most ideal situation to go into. Vorak's not going to do anything spectacular, but you know, these guys can offer some offense in the transition to go from defense towards offense. And then these things are a lot of offense. I think we take the Titanic Growth. The 2 oil counters don't change anything for us. What other choices would we have? A Barbed Batterfist? I like these because they act like 4 mana things. I like these because they attack on like the 3 mana slots, even though they cost 4 and 5. The haste gives you that early jump. You could do the same thing with this if this is already on the deck. Really make it tough to fight against. We're not going to get many hits. We're going to give them no hits whatsoever. Isn't there like a... No. That's all you need to see to know what the heck's going on. I say we take it to testing. We consider the blast. It's weird how we hem and haw about our 23rd card, but having so many things that affect the board here, 1, 2 extra, so 18, and then having some pretty solid removal spells across the way that are going to give us an opportunity, some evasion, some stompy, kinds of stuff, some hasty kinds of tricks. We've got a lot of tricks up our sleeve. We've got some rampy tricks. We've got oil coming out of everywhere, between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of our creatures have some kind of oil built into them. And then we've got oil supporters as well. So I can totally see us like somehow drafting like and getting like a hand with all 4 of these guys in it, which would just be ugh. But our curve looks good. Lots of our spells are in the 2 mana spot. That's exactly what you want. You don't want to see a bunch of spells up here. This is where you want to be affecting the board. This is where you want to be manipulating the board. I say we're done. Let's take it to testing one time just to see. By take it to testing, what I mean by that is I like to take the draft deck, go in here, turn it into a more standard deck, up the like we're at 16, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We'll do 23 lands just as like a jumping off point. These are the cards that I think are the most important to test. So I just add 1 across the board until we get to 60, and I feel pretty solid about the makeup of the deck. We could probably take one of these away. There's not a lot to think about with a vanilla card. So what we did was we kind of rebuilt our deck. Take all this stuff out of the sideboard, but we built our deck by almost doubling every card, at least adding 1 more copy across the board, kind of deal. So we ended up with a 2.8, which is the exact same. We have 25 creatures, but again, that's kind of consistent with the 40 format versus 60 format. 40 cards versus 60. So let's take a look and see. We're going to go to a bot match because it's not likely that we're going to learn anything by jumping into a non-bot match. Sorry, I messed up there. Bot match. We're going to go to the draft deck. We're going to say play. All right, so looks like we got 2 Skitterfangs and 1 Hexgold Halberd. We've got a 2 mana Sky, but we've got the wrong mana for it. We can cast a 2 mana creature, and we just need 1 of any mana to cast a 3 mana creature. So pretty good. I think a little bit better than we thought. That's not the mana that we're looking for. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think they actually block this. Got some oil. Alright. So, we have 4 total mana, and we could attack with our Kinkerbloom. There will be a block. We're going to decline. There's no reason. We're just going to do this. And Mr. Blazing Crescendo will be exactly the trick we're looking for. So click next. And we drew our Cinder Slash Ravager, right? And it's going to take 5 total mana to get there. So we need a mana, or yeah. Bye-bye. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's got reach, unfortunately, so I think we go for the action. I think we hit him with it. We'll go with, what do you think? The Death Touch? Yeah. And then we say attack. And, oh, what a shocker. They didn't take it. Ouch. Okay, Furnace Strider offers a really nice attack into this, so that's where we're going. You drop the Furnace Strider down, pop it, stick it on there, go next to combat. We're going to say, sure. We'll put it on you, and we'll give it your lifelink. Go next to attack. Attack. Alright. Expecting to take a little bit of damage on the backslide. And that's game. Because, you know. Yeah, of course. Just give you flying? Turn 6 kill. I do believe not a bad card in the deck so far. Do one more. I think we're ready. Do one more. Feels like a good deck. Feels like a deck I've played something pretty close to, and I don't think I had as many Ruthless Perditions in the other deck. We've got 2 mana. Fine. Okay. Go 2/2 with trample first strike. Don't think anything comes at us here, and unfortunately, without the mana, I don't think there's any reason for us to go after it. Hello, Balrog. I'd rather take out the Balrog than offer up an ineffective block. The first strike here is the key, because we don't have to worry about what he's going to hit us with. We just have to make sure we're going to hit him with enough. First strike. Okay, tap land counts as land. Yeah, we really need a ramp at some point. Like, we're going to say no on the attack. What do you think? Canker Bloom? Contagious Warak? We got choices. So we're not very powerful with this the Cackler over here. We have a total of 4 mana. We're going to take some damage. I don't think the first strike trample matters right now. I think we just keep it off to the side. So I say we go after the mana. Yeah. We can cast 2 mana things. We can't cast 3 mana stuff, but I kind of dig this. It sets up a decent defense. Click next to combat, next to attackers, no to attack, end the turn. Just kind of reestablishing some board presence after a removal spell kind of took us back on our heels just a touch. I guess we're gonna get rid of that. Oh, I should have. I'm such a silly, silly goose. Let's put the golem out, and then the Skitterfang will give us a lot more out of it. If I do that, and then I do a Ruthless Predation, I could get rid of their biggest threat, and I can totally dig that. Right? So, out of here. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And I'm not worried about 1 damage. I'd rather have the... we're not going to attack it. Alright, so 2 choices. Furnace Strider and an attack. It makes the most amount of sense. The other option would be Skitterfang, setting up for a bigger, wider board state. But we do have a few guys here. I think we just take the opportunity to push what we can push, though. And then we use 1. And then we all attack, right? Is there any reason not to? Oof. How could you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total mana. 3 and 3. Okay, so just trying to figure out the most advantageous way. If we put the Halberd on the Furnace Strider, it's going to give us that trample capability. If we drop the Cackler in, it's going to give us the push with all those extra dudes over there. And it may not have been the right play. I should have probably done this one because it just doesn't attack with as much. But it's okay. You live and you learn. Oh, I should have done the Furnace Strider over there too. Almost. So, a couple things to remember. Furnace Strider equals haste for everything that you cast. Don't forget to do. Other thing to remember, Kuldotha Cackler may cost more, but Armored Scrap Gorger also gets to be pretty potent once it gets up there in what goes on. One of the best 2 cards like you can put out there. It's certainly a really nice rampy like kind of combo. It's twice we've finished the game with really nice board states across. So I feel like it's ready. I don't think there's any other question that I've got. This is driving me crazy. The card sleeve ambience noise just won't shut up. Thank you. I think we'll go with that. And I think it's time for us to do the draft, right? Time to play. Was there anything in this deck that we didn't feel like worked well? Nope. I think I like these Blazing Crescendos, Ruthless Perditions, and Titanic Growths much, much more than another Batter Fist. I don't think that we live down here in the 2-drop slot too long. I think we move out of it pretty quick, and most of these bodies are big enough that they're going to stick around. We'll take the one card draw land. Oops. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. 2 wins in a row gets us everything we're looking for. Right. We got tappy tap land, but we've got some nice early oil countery kinds of dudes. So we're going to keep in hopes of... Yeah, that's fine. Wait a minute. Changing plans, changing plans. Okay. I hope he didn't do that to get land. Maybe he did. Oh. I kind of feel like Canker Bloom is the guy on here. But if we're going to attract a removal spell, let's have it to be on something that doesn't get in the way. So we'll say next to combat, and if I do attack, it won't be with an oil counter. So I'm going to say no on the attacks and say end turn. I put a stop up here so that after his attack phase, I can remember to tap the Rustvine Cultivator. Kind of knew that was going to happen. All right. We're going to have our second defense character up on the board. We probably should have thrown the Hunter's Maze on that one just to see. Since I've got a good blocker on the way back, and I've got one on there already, we'll just attack and see what happens. I'd like more 1 toughness creatures. But it's not coming. That's okay. If we wait longer, we're giving him more card draw opportunities. And so far, all he's done is Orzhov control kind of thing. So I think we need to push. And I think that this is my best way of pushing. It just keeps pressure on him. He doesn't have a blocker. He's got to be sweating 7 coming his way. I can always get rid of something little if I need to. And at this point right now, I am not trying to... I'm not trying to ramp towards anything. So having a 5/5 with Vigilance is such a threat. Did I miss a land drop? Or did he already throw his land drop? Weird choice. If you have a Skrull's Hive, it might be able to pay off. Okay. On the reverse side of things, if we... I don't think I need the mana, so I'm throwing that out there right now. I do think that I want to attach this to here as my play, right? That's my big quote-unquote play. And then I can go next and attack with 1. Is there any reason to attack with 2? No, we'll just do 1. Just keep the toxic level down. Keep the damage on him going. Right? Didn't even get a thing. Yeah. We can clean through a card. Depending on what his attacks look like. So, like, throwing the Kinkerbloom out is good on offense, but it's not the greatest of defense that's on there. I'm expecting something with this Veil of Assimilation being important. Some kind of artifact that comes in, hands out a +1 vigilance. Like, I was expecting something to do that. That's fine. If he's got another artifact, he could do another 2. Resolve. Resolve. Yeah. I like where you're going. I see it. I don't know if going across the board was the right answer. Oh my god. He didn't attack. All those +1s go away. Okay, what would we like to get rid of? It does seem like getting rid of the Crawling Chorus doesn't accomplish much, but cleaning out some of these little guys could. Is it worth Blazing Crescendo or some of that other stuff? Like, I don't know. I kind of think... What do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 natural mana. I could do it all. Why not? Right? Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. This is overkill, but it's fine. Because what we're going to do is just get rid of that. So now he doesn't have a defender. Right? And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to resolve that. And then I think we're just going to attack with the Ravager again, right? That's fine. So, next combat. Correct. I think it's totally worth taking a little bit of damage and holding on to that trick. He's got 4 things. Oh, he just quit. Oh. One win more. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Let's go. One more win in a row. We can suffer a loss and then get a win and still make it. But let's just get the win now. We got a really good deck. Axiom Engraver, Cankerbloom. 2 mana. Let's hope they're different colors. They're the same color. But we're going to keep it. Because of the Cankerbloom. We now have 2 things to do before we are raging against the machine. Alright, I like it. If you're going to be solid blue, we're going to be happy about that. Okay. Exactly. Okay, Skitterfang. It is. I would love to draw a red mana at some point. Decline. Yeah, I'm gonna get into this. Let's do this. Worked better when I did it. Sure. We'll go with lifelink, and we'll say I'll attack. Red mana. Please don't lock me out. This guy's got the same deck as me. Don't do it. Okay. Let's go. What's the priority hold for? Minor misstep? No. Oh, he did have 2 mana. Ouch. It's cold. Get a little heat going. Alright, what you gonna do? What do you say we send our boy Ickerplate Golem flying and then attack in and say oops, just to see? Okay. Take it. Yeah. We're going to give it with flying. Right? And we're going to say, I'll attack. Next. Oops. Just kidding. Not oops. Alright, miserable blocking. If I don't pick up the red mana here, I think I'm not taking off the Skitterfang. I like the extra damage more than anything. Huh. Yeah, I can't. Right? I think I have to. No. No. Please send him flying. Yeah. It's a decent amount of damage. Yes! You are correct, sir. We got time for one more trick? I think it holds him back more than it helps to get rid of the guy. block the 5 damage and lose the cultivator. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. Yeah, past the blockers. I think we do it like that. Feels pretty good. Past end. Fortunately, Furnace Strider's just not enough. Chimney Rabble becomes pretty cool. Cinder Slash Ravager, though, does a lot. I do think that I end up throwing the Ravager out now. I think this is just what's going out there now. It's not the most ideal situation, but it does create more of an environment there. I think I say no. I think I say decline. And I think I attack with both. Right? Yeah, I think so. I'm very curious to see. He can't really block with the Lattice Blade guy without losing him. I'm okay with that. And I would be okay losing the Cinder Slash Ravager too for the Lattice Blade. Got a lot of life gain with this thing, man. Whew, it just keeps stabilizing. Rough. Lots of removal, lots. I mean, all over the place with the colors and stuff. Yeah, it's fine. We're all good. Oh, come on with the mana. Like, so stuck. I kind of like it. I've got them covered. Say no on the attacks. Waiting for the mana to get better. One more mana. Got excited. Okay, so without the mana, we're stuck here doing this again. I don't like these attacks. Say no on the attacks and end the turn, and just waiting for that mana, just hoping and dreaming and waiting. Come on, 52% chance to get a mana. It's pretty insane. I don't really want to. I just want to take the shot at it. Yes! Whew. All right. So, looking at this for a second, I think we can push everybody. We'll lose you. And we'll lose you. He'll keep here. But he'll take a lot of damage otherwise. So, yeah, I think we go. He can end up selling out of the Furnace Strider if he wants. I feel pretty good. I mean, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah. I know, I know, I know. And it's Missouri. Ah, pretty good. Took everything, but restock some stuff. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I got to block 4. I can't do it. Huh. I think I'm going to take a loss. I think that the... What? Oh my god. Jeez. That's just insanity. Well, he's going to draw 7 cards out of it. And like, that was sad. I'm not happy about that. He got an Atraxa in limited, and he cast it. There's no reason to sit there. All right, let's go. We need the win. If we take a loss, we need 2 wins in a row, unfortunately, and I don't want to do that. So let's just get this win right here. Man, he just kept coming. Like, every card got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was pretty impressive how he was able to ramp that way up. Yeah. We've got a 4 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 2 mana. Like, we've got a lot of things going on here. So I think that we would be dropping the Scrap Gorger first, considering the hello. Red and blue with an escaped experiment, huh? And a forge. That's good. Turn 3 forges are brutal. I do think that we throw the Chimney Rabble and take the 4 damage on this one. Just because we don't need any more mana. We got nothing to foil on it. So we can chump the Escaped Experiment. Or the Urbask Forge, too. We can chump that out. Although I think I'd probably let it go. Right? If If I throw the mountain, I can double spell. Otherwise, I'm single spelling here, and that's giving that an extra turn to go. I can double spell either way, but I would prefer the block. Let's go with you. And we can... We can just wait. Say no on the attacks and end the turn. Put the stop in there. Escape disbarment. I guess the Halper? Gonna play yourself Yeah. Yeah. What? You get to do that in response? You maniac. I don't see a lot of reasons not to do that. I think I'd rather get rid of this guy. Nobody's a great attacker. I think we'll just wait. I want to see what you do. It's 2 of your mana. God damn it. I don't know why I keep picking his. Except it's just mana that I don't have to worry about, right? Let's go. We're not making any choices just yet. Still gives us 4 mana to do something cool. And that looks kind of cool. Um, oh my god. Oh my god. I can't get around it, man. I can't get around you. Like, Jesus. Go away. You giant pain in the ass. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. It was like he was the final boss, dude. He was so good. He was so good. That dude had Urabrask Forges. That guy had a magmatic sprinter that was going to do it. He had blue red built with like a interesting artifact synergy, and man, did he know. I mean, he anticipated my removal spells and everything, but I just kept the board alive. I protected, and then I threw the combo that was going to work, and it just he didn't have a way through at that point. I could have gotten excited and tried to jump in. You gotta love this game sometimes, dude. It is really pretty impressive. Really, really impressive. Okay, mission accomplished. At this point, we have picked up 200 gems back. So we've turned 5,000 gold into 200 gems. That's not great. We have turned 5,000 gold into 4 different rares, all of which we won't have had before because this one will be protected by the duplicate packet. We picked 3 that we didn't have, as well as a 4th one, and we still have 2 more wins to go. Like, we still can take 2 more losses, and I would love to be able to pump in some more wins. That was a really, really good game, though. I'm very, very impressed with the way that that game played out. It actually felt like real limited Magic. Canker Bloom to the rescue. This is definitely a keep. There's just a lot of little things that we get a chance to do here. I think the Halberd and the Furnace Strider are on the back burner while we wait. And then we get these defensive creatures on the deck with the Ickerplay Golem in an attempt to, I don't know, make something happen. Well, that didn't take long. Let's go with you. Dig it. Lots of Axiom Engravers. We would rather have our Ickerplate Golem out first. And then we just click next, and no, we don't need to attack. We'll click and turn. And we can suck up, well, we're going to take a bit. that's right. I didn't have anything going on. Huh. All right. I'd like to get the Flensing Raptor out of the way. Um, I think that's probably the name of the game right now. It would have been neat to do something different, but let's have to deal with that. Here we are. And then we go to next to combat and go to attack and just attack with this guy. And then we go with the Axiom Engraver, which tilts the Armored Scrap Corriger, allows us to get rid of this, and brings back a defensive player and lots of synergy. Porcelain's up, it's going to get +2. I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to put out, what do you think? We're going to take another 2 damage from that thing. I hate that. But if I put out another Axiom Engraver, I'll have 4 damage to stop that. So I think that that's what I end up doing. And I don't think... putting the halberd out right now. I kind of want to save the halberd for these guys. Like, so we say next, we say next, and we say no, and we say end. And the goal here is if Dune Mover gets the other +2 again. This one gives +3 trample, I think, right? +2. Resolve. Pass. I think we pass to blockers and just double block that guy like that. It's a good trade for us. Did get the mana necessary to punch. We punch, and we punch hard. I'm okay with this. I feel confident that I could do it again on the next turn. Alpha makes a 3/3 golem. This one can put pass to attack. Turn. Time to get rid of some stuff. I think the name of the game here is Ruthless Perdition, this into this. Just to take away the threat. Right? That leaves us with a 6/6. I think we go next to combat, next to attackers. And I think I'm okay attacking with 3 here. Next. And he'd be taking a lethal amount of damage if he let it all go. He's got to lose something. By putting out the multiple attempts. Yeah, he loses his big guy. I'm okay with this. It's just fun. Alright, our deck is moving, man. We be a moving, we be a grooving. 301. Let's keep it rolling full steam. That one wasn't that big of a challenge. We curved out really, really well, drew well, and used our resources the best way possible. I think having some hesitation, with knowing that we've got the bigger players that can do more damage later, we don't need to constantly go into the aggro world. We have 3 mana and a Kicker Bull, which is pretty much a snap keep. I wish we had the red mana. It could become a problem very, very quickly. But we have till turn 3 to draw 1 red mana. So we're going to have to go with that. Hello. That's not good. I guess he can pop the Terramorphic Expanse. Green, black, blue. Very, very interesting. We did it. Taking it. Dropping some of that on there. We definitely have a priority button. Do you believe? That's fine. We can double spell next turn. Doesn't change anything. Oh, your Gorak is so big and piggy. Feels like a ramp deck scenario. What? 5 colors? What the heck? What the what? What the what the what the what? Certainly like throwing the Ickerblade Golem out here now. It just makes him a better blocker, right? I think that's it. Yeah, it's kind of the deck that we worry about. Come on, Brosif. Come at me. Okay. I ain't scared. We can keep up. I would absolutely like to throw the Cinderslash Ravender next. I could hit for 10 if I do that. Good. 2 more mana to go with. 3 more mana to deal with. Yeah. Okay. Cinderslash it is. I like it. Oh, I like it. all your mana. This is the way we roll, we roll. All right, what's that, 3 in a row? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, so we're up to 4. Big win here. Pretty much making this whole thing free. I did a bunch of math on another stream where I tried to figure out, like, if I could average something like 300 to 400, like if I could average some kind of thing in the middle of this, I would be really, really happy, because the amount of drafting that you get a chance to do when you've got, 30,000 sitting on the side, and like, is pretty solid. Okay, so only Ruthless Perdition is sitting on the sidelines right now. Dougie. Oof. Canker Bloom. Where are you? I need you. This will slow him down for a little bit. Okay. That's not a Canker Bloom. So the problem is the Hunter Maze is slow. The positive side of this is Chimney Rebel is not. So I think we're doing this. And I think we're going to go to... We've got a lot of cool combat spells. I think we go next. And we'll say, yeah, take it, it's fine. Stick it on there. Make it Vigilance. Right? And what that'll do is give us two blockers. So we just keep preventing all of the toxic from getting in. Four, 5, 6, 7. He got mana locked. I feel dirty. Well, that's 5. 2 more to go. Can we get a trophy? I think we could. It's going to be fun. You get to see the whole thing from start to finish. Value drafting, mind splices, and all that kind of stuff, but still being able to put together a solid deck. 4 mana in his hand, and none of it matches the color. Oh, well. Okay. I apologize and take it all back. We'll keep 6. I don't like the idea of having nothing to do before turn 3, but I'd rather be in that circumstance and looking to draw the Furnace Strider later than another one. Ichorplate Golem is the first thing we do. Oh, of course, 1 mana. This could get ugly. What are we doing against a diamond player? Oh my god. We're a whole turn behind. Oh my god. We're flooding. They tried to give us 4 mana on the last one, and they're giving us 7 or 5 so far on this one. Oh my god. We're flooding, and we don't know how to stop it. Yeah, it was mad value. I'll attack. All right, all right, all right. Spend the mana when you can. Feels like you're giving up on this turn. Predation Steward? It doesn't even block. What the heck? Sure. We'll go with lifelink. Yeah. Okay. Underrated card. He's going to get up to a 3/3 here. Good on him. Not worth the trade for me, unfortunately. I do think that we gotta. We gotta. Let's draw the card. Yeah. Can I do it on me? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with flying here. Yeah, we're not leaving much on the defense, but they don't have a ton on the offense side of things. They can swing for 7, 8, 9. And then we got to keep that in the back of our mind too, that like chump blocking the... Oh no. Oh. That's real bad. Yeah. Take the 9. Why didn't he attack? So if I Skitterfang and go for lifelink, I'll die. But I can take out something with me. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yep. We're going with the lifelink here. Taking it. Right there. I know. You're not going to understand. And you're going to say, like, he made a mistake. Oh. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Sure. Just makes me feel a lot more comfy knowing that stabilized a little. And we have eaten through a lot of this guy's cards, and he is still around. Okay. None of this stuff works. That's exactly the card I'm looking for, you dirty bastard. I think I attack with everything and use the Titanic Growth on whatever he decides to block. It's okay. Unfortunately. I'm not going to let 9 get by. Does it make the most amount of sense to get some healing, take out some damage, and get my Ichor Plate Golem out of the way, because I'm not going to want to attack with it. So yeah, just throwing it on the Ichor Plate Golem, giving him flying or lifelink, huh? Flying. That's the better answer. Hoping to do some work here. So much. Wow. This keeps happening. So, assuming that 5 damage comes my way, do I have enough to make anything on the crackback? Huh. No. I don't. Thinking here. He's got 3 guys that do 3 damage, and I've got 1. I've got 2 guys that can catch 3 damage, but he's going to send something flying. If he sends something flying, then it won't have lifelink. But he'll have stabilized and reversed at that point. But I don't like what I see here. God, a removal spell would be phenomenal right now. It's just not happening, man. God. Unbelievable. I don't see an answer. I hate to do that, but he's gonna win. And all these other interactions, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. Yeah, there was no way to get by it. I wish there was. I don't think he was going to make a mistake. It's a good game on his part. The value that you get out of the sack if it gets into that late game kind of stuff is just kind of nutty. Okay, we need 2 wins before we get a loss. Can we go 2 in a row? We did it last time. I think we went 5 in a row last time. So it's totally possible. Is it probable? Maybe. Well, let's find out. We're going to get matched up with somebody in diamond again since we're sitting here waiting. Can I get like a gold or a silver? 2 land and a rust vine. As long as one of those lands is green, I'm probably keeping... I have 3 turns to draw a green mana. I think I'm going to keep. Well, regret everything. Hello, Kiski. Green, white, ramp. I think it's over already. Oh, this hurts. He's got a hold? Weird priority holds? Next, I'll attack. Let's see. Yeah, we need the card, unfortunately. God, that ain't it. That ain't it. Yeah, 4, 5, 6 damage if he wants it. We can still do one more. That'll be our 5th or 6th draw. Take it. Seven damage. Oh, you did it, you dirty, dirty bastard. That's fine. Let's do it. We'll keep the damage happening. Make him guess. Dude, he's doing it. Oh my god. How do you end up with a removal spell? Like, seriously? How did you end up with a removal spell? Yeah, it's game over. I wanted to get rid of that Lattice Blade Mantis so bad that I thought for sure he was going to block it. Mm-hmm. I have 2 turns left. There's a possibility of stabilizing here. It won't be great. Mm-hmm. So Kank and Axiom can trade with Lattice Blade, and that would leave us with Duelist of Deep Faith and 2 Rustivine Cultivators to deal with on the next turn. I can put 2 more bodies out on the next turn. But there's gonna have an Armored Scrap Gorger ready to attack by then. I think it's already over, and that's the negative side of this format, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately it looks like this, and that gives him 6, and that's lethal, so that doesn't work. If I do this and this, that blocks 6 and gives him 4, 5, that's lethal. So it's just a good game. Look, the name of the game was Let's Get to Plat. Did we get to Plat? Yes. Did we get a return on our investment? We put 5,000 gold in, which would have been 5 packs, which would have been 5 guaranteed rares that we didn't have. What did we get on the way out? 650 gems back on the way out means that we only spent the equivalent of a half of 1 pack. Okay. We got 3 rares plus this pack for 4 with a 35% chance at getting a 5th. So we got the rares that we were looking for in the draft. We got the gems in return, and the whole thing was basically a conversion of gold into gems. Maybe if we end up with 4 rares, it would have been 800 gems if we were to buy them in gems. So I feel like for 150 gems, essentially, we ended up with a lot more rares. And so we certainly would say this was highly profitable because at all stages, oh, and we got 2 packs. We did it. We hit the 2nd pack. So at all stages of this, from value drafting and making picks on rares to coming up with a deck that gets 5 wins, that's excellent, to having fun when we do it and not just ripping our hair out, which is good, to converting the gold into gems, which is another reason to do it because there's more things you can do with gems. And we still ended up with all the Phyrexia All Will Be One stuff that we wanted out of there. So, spectacular. Some wild cards, 3 different wild cards, awesome. Yeah. Expand the sphere. Okay. And a monument to perfection. I have a deck with this in it. I think I only had one copy of that. Having two is going to make it a little bit more fun to play. Cool. I think I already owned all those. Are you serious? I'll take it. I actually like it. Uh, my deck is called A Monument to Land. I was just looking at it yesterday. I was goofing around with it, thinking, um, well, that's all four monuments to perfections. I was thinking, like, this is the definition of a control deck, and so having control kinds of planeswalkers that give you more land on the deck, that clear the board if you need to, that, again, like just nothing but defense. Patchwork automatons, just because we've got other artifact kind of synergies happening around the board, but nothing incredible, are good. I do think that the Reckoner Bankbusters are great, and they could help us get to the kind of world that we want here. The Urza Silex may not be what we want because we have a new set of rares that are artifacts that are in blue, right? A legendary artifact called the Temporal Anchor is way too late in the game. That won't work. We end up with an encroaching microsynth which turns every card, every spell into an artifact, which can be kind of fun when you have artifact-driven ETBs. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1/+1 counter, right? Those can be fun. A Mind Splice apparatus is going to make a lot of this stuff cheaper to deal with. 4, 3, 3, 3, 3 total mana. I'm not that worried about making that cheaper. I do think it only works for sorceries and instants, though, and this is the only sorcery spell we've got, so not a lot of reasons to stick that guy in there. The thought was maybe an encroaching microsynth would be a fun way to supercharge this deck. I think we'll do one less bulwark, or maybe two less bulwarks, and I think we'll do one less monument to perfection and one more Steel Seraph, because we're going to need some kind of life gain, some kind of stabilization along the way. And I do think that board wipes, draw, throw the land out, keep them from damaging you, gain your life, clear the board. I think all that pays off pretty good. This is the land, and what we've got is one copy of so many different kinds of land, but we did have 6 of these, and what do we have? 24 lands in this deck? Feels like we should have more. Spheres, basic planes, basic land types. The point of this is to say, search your library for a basic sphere or locust land, reveal it and put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Alright. Activate only if there are 9 or more lands with different names among the basic sphere, and locust lands you control, right? So these are spheres. These are spheres. These are spheres. These are forests. These are mountains, basics. Here's another sphere. There's a swamp. There's a sphere. There's an island. There's a sphere. Have I ever done this? I don't think I have. Not collected. There's no such thing as a land that says locus on it. Right? Just doesn't exist. So, a monument to land. Wanna try it? Try one game. Then we'll call it. That was really fun, though. Sorry, New York pizza, but I ain't feeling it. Alright. Oh, Trump has been indicted. Cool. mean, 30-minute games